Hello and welcome to our private view. It's really great to be able to get our Boson Guardians together and of course all our other amazing guests for an exclusive look at our new portal space and to hear directly from DRESSX about their amazing creations in this space. I'm Rhian, I'm a developer advocate at Boson Protocol, and we're delighted to have with us tonight Daria, Natalia, Olga and Piero from DRESSX, along with our very own Metaverse consultant, or should I say Metaverse guru, Elad. I'll get everyone to introduce themselves in a minute, and we've got some great visuals to show you. But I'd just like to get a couple of announcements out of the way first. We're streaming this event into our space in Decentraland, where you'll be able to see it on the big screen. So join us there if you can. You'll see the link, which we've already put into the chat. I also wanted to let you know quickly about a couple of programs that we've got where we are offering Boson tokens for our talent program and our bug bounty program. For the bug bounty, please check the chat where there'll be a link. We're asking all security researchers, developers and testers to pitch in and inspect the contracts which we've deployed, and we're also offering great bounties to people who can help us find talent to come and work with us. So have a look at these links, please. Now anyway, that's the admin out the way. Let's do the introductions. I'd now like to invite the panel to introduce yourselves in turn and say a little bit about what you do. Daria.
Hi, yes, my name is Daria, and I'm one of the founders of DRESSX, and I'm also a CEO of the company. So basically, our journey started 1.5 years ago, and here we are doing our first drop that has the physical aspect, and we will tell you more about it today.
Amazing. Piero?
Hi, everyone. I'm Piero D'Angelo. I'm a fashion designer. I'm based in London. I'm going to collaborate with DRESSX for the project that I'm going to show you in a minute. And my idea, I'm working with the idea of growing garments with living organisms, working with the idea of mixing different disciplines together, like science, arts, and textiles and fashion, and getting inspiration from my experiments, which is all about like growing living organisms, and see how this all these disciplines together, and especially biotechnology, could actually change the way we think of fashion, the way we wear or even produce fashion, and we will in the future.
Amazing. Really look forward to hearing about that. Olga.
Hi, everyone. I'm Olga, and I'm Chief Sustainability Officer of DRESSX. And today I will tell you why DRESSX, a pure digital clothes store, decided to create a physical garment and how we approached this physical garment in our unique DRESSX way.
Wonderful. And Elad.
My name is Elad Yakobowicz. I am a consultant for Boson Protocol on everything Metaverse related. That's what I do in real life persona, but the NFT people know me better by my Twitter persona, Strawberry Sip, where I've been a part of the NFT community and the fabric of it for some time.
Okay, we're going to have an absolutely wonderful panel discussion later, and we'll also be joined by Natalia, who can introduce herself when she gets here. We've already seen, of course, from the amazing wearables that you have on, we already have some kind of visual treat, but now I shall put myself on mute, and Daria and Olga, you are going to present a deck.
Mm-hmm. Olga, I'll let you open the deck for everyone. And yes, so here we are after the short round of intros. You know who is who in our team. So basically, first of all, I want to thank to all of our partners for making it happen today. Boson Protocol, it's amazing to work with all of your team, and Piero is amazingly talented designer whom we met a couple of years ago at LVMH Prize, where he was one of the participants, and that's a great honor in the industry to be a part of LVMH Prize. And so we're very happy to bring all of these talents together. So I will tell you a little bit more about DRESSX. So as mentioned in the beginning, we started the company 1.5 years ago, and we were at the very early start of the conversation of the digital clothing, and we were happy to be and are happy to be one of the pioneers of this movement. And the way how we actually saw the need for the digital clothing is that me and Natalia, we both worked in the fashion industry for many years. As for me, I started really young. So 15 years ago, I saw a fashion industry without social media, without Facebook, without Instagram. It was a completely different industry. And then I understood personally that the next big shift in the fashion, I actually want to be behind it. And after learning a lot of experiences in the fashion industry by doing media projects, establishing the Fashion Week in Ukraine that became the largest one in Eastern Europe, and then being behind one of the most interesting showrooms in Paris that sold traditional contemporary physical fashion, we actually realized with Natalia, because we were involved in all of these projects together, that the real demand that exists in the industry for people is also about like producing the content with the clothing. So, and we figured out that not necessarily every clothing should actually exist in their physical versions, and they can just exist in digital, because you can wear them on the images, you can wear them on the short video calls, on the long or short video calls as I'm wearing now on the crown, or like short videos that are very popular right now. And we do a lot of different solutions. As mentioned on the previous slides, we had different NFT drops, and the NFT part is important for us because we also understood that part of our clients, they want to actually continue trading those items. They want to own the items, because off-chain items that we sell at DRESSX, they can belong to as many people as we can dress. So basically, you can consider it to be a kind of a digital mass market when the items are off-chain, but when they are on-chain, it's more into the luxury space. And that's, for example, an example for you of how you see a model digitally dressed by DRESSX. So basically, everything that you see from the Palm Angels, that's the brand that we work with through Farfetch, on the right is actually digital on this image. And that's exactly what happens with every NFT wearable by DRESSX, that you can actually receive the artwork, but then you can wear the dress on the images, as you can see here on May Musk, who was wearing one of our items on the cover of Vogue Czechoslovakia, one of the most avant-garde Vogue editions that we addressed. And basically, she is wearing one of the DRESSX items as well. We know her for many years. May is amazing. And here you can see how actually the item can be worn on the still image. But we also see that some of our clients, NFT clients as well, they want to redeem their NFTs and to wear them in AR for producing short videos for the social media, for making it happen, and like for people to see what they look like. Olga, let's stop on this slide, by the way. Don't move it. I will now finish what I was saying, and then I will switch on to this one. And yes, I was talking about the AR use case, and what will actually enable later this year the opportunity to wear your NFTs on the video calls, as I'm wearing right now. And we actually was the first company to enable for a person, for the owner of one of our NFTs, to wear it on a live broadcast on the TV show. It was Yahoo Finance. So basically, yes, there are a lot of things that we can all do together, and DRESSX is actually extremely happy to be at the forefront of those changes in the fashion industry. And what's important to mention, we never actually envisioned that digital fashion should compete with physical fashion. We do believe that they can coexist. That's the most important, and that's actually what we also want to show in this particular project in the NFT drop. And when Boson Protocol and Portal teams, they connected to us and asked if we can do the physical item, it was a bit of hesitation for our team, because we're a digitally native company. We want to sell digital clothing, but we actually understood that we will show how the breach is possible, and especially because we decided to work with Piero, it took a completely different level for us, and you will actually see it, because for us, like, the sustainability part of digital fashion is extremely important. But I will leave it soon to Olga to tell you more about it, because it's a huge thing, and we're also very happy that we were the company actually to push it forward to everyone and to kind of make this pillar as important as possible and to create the dialogue behind the sustainability in the digital fashion space. So here you can see that we work with lots of different companies, and more of them are understanding the beauty of digital fashion and how it can amplify the physical part of fashion. And I can say that in 1.5 years from now, more luxury companies, they understand also the NFT part of the business, that it will actually eventually become for them one of the revenue streams gradually. Not everyone is ready to do it fast, but more and more brands are considering, and that's important. And I'm super excited for Boson that they can actually do this link between the physical and the digital, and that's why we wanted to be one of the companies who are actually like pivoting this and showing to the industry how it can be done. And yes, here you can see the examples of the videos that can be produced with the garments, and one of the images, like here our friend, she wears the Fendi look, and actually today I'm in Miami to present this magazine where she is wearing Fendi digitized items. But let's go to the next slide. I hope I'm giving you a clear understanding of what digital fashion is, by the way. Olga, I will appreciate, yes, if you switch. So basically, yes, if you want to redeem your NFTs by DRESSX, that's all redeemable. If you have them already, they are redeemable in the DRESSX app. And for someone who will purchase the NFTs that we are presenting today, they will be also redeemable in the DRESSX app, and you will be able to wear them in AR, something that you see happening on the screen. Briefly, you will have them as an artwork, and you will be able to wear them on the editorial photo. But in this case, with our collaboration, you will also receive a physical piece that is super special, and we'll tell you more about it. So that's a part of every DRESSX NFT wearable. We're super happy to show you more examples. This is a couture dress from one of the French designers who we're working with. So there were plenty of collaborations that we did, but this one is extremely important for us and has a very a special place in our hearts, because as mentioned, it's the first time, and maybe the only time, we don't know yet, we're doing the physical item as well. Maybe we'll consider doing more. It depends on the reaction from the industry and from all of us. So today is a very important day for us, and the 24th as well. And basically, we can go to the next slide. This is something that that is happening, and today is the pre-launch event. It was also important for us to talk to all of you and to discuss more of what we're doing, and to kind of give this presentation to everyone to become familiar with this collaboration and why this partnership is important for DRESSX and for all the stakeholders. And you can here see the collector's journey and understand better what is happening. It's actually everything that I told you, that you can discover the collection of wearable NFTs at Boson Protocol portal, and then buy your NFT on OpenSea. And then basically it will be a part of your collector's wallet. You receive a physical garment in some time, because it takes time to produce it. And we'll explain why later today. And then actually, as soon as you buy it, you will be able to have it as a digital item very soon. So this is also very cool, because you're kind of waiting a little bit for the physical item to be produced, but you can already start to interact with it in a digital reality. We can go next. Hopefully everyone understands the flow. Meanwhile, if you have any questions you would like to ask us in the chat, please do. And it's the time for me to give a stage to Olga, who will tell you more about our sustainability mission and all the goals that we have. And then she will actually introduce you to our amazing designer, Piero, who will also participate in the conversation. And then we'll have a panel discussion when Natalia will join, because unfortunately she needed to leave, but she will rejoin us later. Thank you so much. If you have any specific questions to me, you can message in the chat.
Thank you so much, Daria. Yeah, I'll take here and talk a little bit about sustainability, but actually sustainability is a very important aspect for DRESSX. And like Daria already said, we start thinking about digital fashion, and DRESSX was created to address the overproduction and overconsumption in the fashion industry. So for us at DRESSX, what is very important is to reduce the environmental impact from the fashion industry. And we are advocates of sustainable consumption and production. And of course, we are eager to create partnerships like we have today with Boson and Piero to promote the sustainable development. Just to provide you some kind of understanding about DRESSX and how we're reducing environmental impact from the fashion industry. Actually, there is statistics showing that about 9% of the clothes which people are buying are used solely for the content creation. And we know that fashion industry was called one of the most polluted industries in the world by United Nations. So actually switching for some use cases to the digital fashion, you can reduce the environmental impact and environmental footprint from fashion industry tremendously. We calculated that impact, and in terms of the carbon footprint, you can reduce by 97% the carbon footprint from the production if you go to the digital garments, and you can save about 3,300 liters of water on one item, which is about 2 liters of water, which can one person drink during 3.5 years. So for us, it was very important to create digital items which can replace physical items, for example, for the content creation, to eliminate significantly the carbon footprint and save the water from the production of the physical garments. And when Boson Protocol asked us to produce physical garments for this collaboration, we decided that if we are going to produce these garments physically, we have to think about ways how we're producing these garments. And that's why we thought about Piero, who will explain you about the materials he's using, and you will understand why DRESSX decided to go with Piero and why we're choosing him as a designer. And just to tell to all the future buyers, future clients, and just people who are concerned about environment, that this collaboration is going to be 100% carbon neutral. So DRESSX will do all the calculations of the carbon footprint, starting from the creation of the digital garments, creation the AR for the owner to try in real life through the DRESSX app, the dressing on the fitted photo look, creating the NFT, and actually sending the physical garment to the user. All of that will be calculated, and we will offset that, because DRESSX, starting from this year, is working with one of the amazing carbon offsetting projects. And I think if Daria wanted to say something more about DRESSX. And if no, I'll pass the stage to Piero. I'll let him introduce himself, and I'll let him speak about the physical aspect and why we choose him and what is amazing about this physical garments.
Hi again, and thank you, Daria. Thank you, Olga, and thank you for making this collaboration possible. I'm really excited. It's the first time that I'm working with digital, and that's great. It's been an amazing experience so far. And what, as I mentioned before, my work focused on the idea of exploring biotechnology and how this new discipline could change the way we conceive, we think of fashion in the future. For this project, the name may sound a bit obscure. I call it the Wabi Venus. But I wanted to combine some of my recent inspirations, as well my obsession with lichens, which I'm going to tell you in a minute why I love them so much. And the word wabi comes from wabi-sabi, which is a Japanese philosophy where the notion, the core notion is all about embracing imperfection, and nature in all its splendor, it is imperfect. And then there is this figure of Venus, which is the goddess of love and beauty, and who better than her could embody nature, since she was birthed from it. And then regarding about lichens, I mean, I love lichens. We don't know, I mean, people tend not to know much about them. They're a bit unknown and a bit underestimated, but they're an amazing species. They can grow everywhere on our planet, from deserts to Antarctic regions. And it's not just one living organism, but in reality, two living organisms, like a fungi and an algae living in symbiosis. And they also, I think in the next slide, we can also, they exist in many different shapes and texture and colors. But the most extraordinary thing is that they can actually be used as a biomonitor to assess the level of pollution of our environment, because they're extremely good in absorbing pollution. And in the next slide, the dress, both, I'm gonna make two pieces, a necklace and a dress, and both pieces will be made using a preserved species of lichens. They are 100% natural, which means you're going to need to look after them in the same way that you would do with a plant. You will need to keep them away from UV light, but also you will need to keep the humidity around 50–60%, which is not too hard to achieve. And also, if they dry out, like you've seen in a video, you can still reverse the process by spraying a little bit of water and keep the garment in a protective cover, which it will be supplied alongside the garment and the necklace. And then finally, in the next slide, I wanted the Wabi Venus to be also a symbol of rebirth, especially in the last couple of years, where the human resilience has been heavily tested because of COVID. And so I wanted the Wabi Venus to be the rebirth of this woman, a stronger woman that, like Venus, emerges from the sea and embraces nature and the imperfection of nature. So this is briefly the topic of my project. And also the garment, in a moment of the purchase, we are going to ask to the client to submit their size. And in a moment that we know the size of the client, I'm going to start working on a bespoke piece. And so you could expect the garments after 4–6 weeks, let's say. And also both pieces, they're going to come with a certificate of authenticity. As Daria and Olga already mentioned, it's an exclusive edition that we make together, and both virtual and real piece, they're going to exist only as a one-off, as a single piece. So there won't be copies or reproduction available. So it's really important that you keep the certificate of authenticity with the garment.
So let me maybe summarize and talk a little bit and reveal finally how the dresses are going to look in the digital space. So this is the Wabi Venus dress, and this is the artwork which the owner of NFT will get. And just to summarize what actually is going the user, the owner of this purchase, of this collaboration, is getting. So we have one dress, which you can see here right now in the digital space, the Wabi Venus dress. And the owner will be getting this piece of art as a for their NFT wallet. And together with this, DRESSX is providing a unique utilities with this dress. So the owner of this artwork, or the collaboration of the buying the dress, will get the fitted photo look, which will provided by DRESSX. Once that you see during our presentation. And secondly, the user will have a unique access to AR look of this dress through DRESSX application. So the person will be able to try on this item in any time they want, share the creative photos or videos all across the social media, while the person is waiting, while the owner is waiting the production of the physical item. The physical item, the physical dress, will be produced by Piero, and like he already mentioned, it will take 4 to 6 weeks because it will be done sur mesure. So it will be done taking into account the size of the owner, and you will have the owner will have a call with Piero to discuss all the details and to precise the size, and then the physical garment will be sent directly to the user. So this is the dress, and we have the second piece. We have the Wabi Venus necklace, which will have absolutely the same components. So the person will receive this photo as an art piece for the NFT wallet. Together with this art piece, the person will get the fitted photo look. So DRESSX will dress this person on the photo with this garment, and we can discuss and we can guide the owner which photo is best to choose for the fitted photo looks. And the owner will have an exclusive access through the application to the AR filtered AR look of this necklace, which they will be able to wear and share in the social media anytime they want. And again, this necklace will be produced by Piero from the moment the garment will be done. And it will take 4 to 6 weeks to produce this. I think for the necklace it will be less. And again, we will try to make this garment fitted to the person's body. So we will ask for the size, so we have the correct size of the shoulders. So this is what we are providing with this collaboration. And this is a very unique opportunity because DRESSX have never been produced any physical garments. We are working only in the digital world. And this is a unique garment which hasn't been sold, hasn't been produced yet, and hasn't been weared yet. Is it correct, Piero?
That's true, correct. It's a creation that I made especially for DRESSX, and yeah, never been made before.
Great. I think that Daria is here, and I think that she can fill some gaps in my presentation and add something for this collaboration.
No, actually, I don't know when exactly you lost me. I was trying to explain completely the same story that you did. And I don't know if you heard the story of how I met Piero. It was the LVMH prize. Hopefully you did listen to that. And Olga, thank you so much. That's exactly what you've explained. It's exactly right. And I'm sure that this is a very special collection in all of the senses. And we're super happy to be behind it. And I think it's a certain kind of moment in the industry, both both for the digital fashion and the NFT digital fashion. And so we're super happy to be behind it. And as Olga mentioned, so you will receive the physical item that will be produced especially for the person. So it's exactly the digital and physical couture combined, and basically the opportunity to wear the same item in AR and the still images with the DRESSX solution. And we can't wait to see who is the special owner or two owners will be, because we're already jealous. I think we can actually switch to the panel and to the questions. Hopefully Natalia will join us soon too, but we can start already. And if there are any questions from the audience, happy to answer. But I do know that we have some questions that we prepared inside our teams.
Yes, indeed. And that was an absolutely amazing presentation, absolutely blown away by it, especially the pictures of the actual physical item. Really never seen anything like that before. Really beautiful. So let's turn now to the panel, and we can let Natalia introduce herself when she comes back. But for the moment, Daria, I would like to ask you, what does this collaboration with Boson Protocol and this launch that we're doing, what does it mean to DRESSX?
Yes, thank you so much for the question. So for us, it's a really kind of a very important project, as mentioned, because we never actually thought of creating any physical items ever. And then when we were introduced by Boson, and we definitely see this kind of intersection between physical and digital worlds in the future. We just were not sure that we as a company would like to explore this, but actually you were convincing enough for us to say yes. But also what's important for us is that we're working with Piero, and you could see that it all kind of a part of it all kind of goes into our sustainability mission, and we want to present for the first time a really sustainable fashion, because when some of the brands can claim that they are sustainable, it is, yes, and it's a great move for the industry that even like mass market players, they communicate that, and they're trying to be more sustainable. But actually with the creations of Piero, we can see how fashion can be beyond just that sustainability notion as we all know it, and become completely different and kind of sustainability 3.0 level. And that's why it was important for us to push his creations and to make them available, and also to make them available for the eternity in the sense of the NFT, because in digital you can own any item eternally for as long as this planet Earth exists, and just to continue either holding it or passing it to the next generations within your family or to someone else. And that's why this kind of different notions of the garment that probably won't exist in like 5 years from now, because it's created from the natural material, but exactly the natural material, not so-called natural, but more kind of 100%, right? And then, but it's in digital, it lives with us. So that's why we thought that Boson will actually be a best partner to communicate all these values, because that's exactly how your company was built, because you want to merge these two worlds together and enable the kind of the best solution for that. So that's why this collaboration is so important for us, and we were working for it for a couple of months now, even half a year. I remember we first spoke in summer. I guess it was summer. It's always summer in Los Angeles, so you never know when exactly you're talking to people, because it's always sun. But in any case, yes, it took us a while, but I think the results were set. And yes, we really hope that it will be well received by the industry, and that people will remember it.
Absolutely. Well, I can't imagine anyone not remembering something like that. It's pretty unique. I'm going to turn to Elad now. So obviously Daria touched on the permanent nature of the fact that it's digital as well. And this whole idea of launching something in the metaverse where we're all going to be spending so much time. Can you explain a little bit about why NFTs are so important in this context? Why can't you just buy a digital wearable that doesn't come with a token?
Well, you can, but why? Right? So the concept of ownership on the blockchain, right? When you purchase a digital item, Web 2.0 style, who says that you have ownership over this thing? It's just one centralized authority, isn't it? With Web 3.0, you decentralize that. You literally put the consensus of ownership on a technical level in the hands of the blockchain and everybody who's using it, both people who are contributing to the blockchain as nodes and also people who are, respecting what the blockchain shows. That sensation of consensus of ownership is a lot of what blockchain provides. And I think it's ironic that, especially with all of the mainstream and everything that happened in 2021, there's been a lot of focus on, the financial aspect of NFTs and everything that you can do with it. You can buy, you can trade, you can sell, you can use it as collateral, you can use it as access tokens, and that's all great and that's all true. However, a lot of it is about the feeling. It's about the feeling of actually owning this digital item. Especially when it comes to fashion, isn't that a lot of what fashion is about? How it makes you feel? In my opinion, that's what the NFTs contribute here.
Great answer. Great answer. And this one's for you, Piero. You'd like to just go back to what gave you the idea to use Lichen for creating this, and talk a little bit about your inspiration and a little bit about, again, about the specifics of how the very lucky owner should care for the garment.
Well, the inspiration really came along the last couple of years, especially during COVID. I had a chance to slow down a little bit and really think and rethink about what the journey of my brand will be, and also gather, having walks in the nature, really get close to nature understanding. So it was something, and I wanted to get those inspiration out of that, of those experience of hiking and walking, and what does it mean caring and care about a garment or care about a plant. And I thought, what if actually we could mix those things together? You will care, and again, the Wabi Venus, the idea that you will have this garment, that it's a plant that you will care, you will look after, almost like a plant. You will have to nurture it. So how our perspective of fashion will change afterwards. We will still think in the same way, like buy garments and use it once and throw it away, or rather having this care aspect that they will make you, almost like create an attachment to a feeling to the garment. But at the same time, I wanted to bring also my journey through biotechnology and how the idea of growing garments matured during my academic years. And so it was really merging about all my old experience in biotechnology, but also with a new inspiration that I gathered in the last couple of years, and being closer to nature. And yes, so it is about that. It is about changing the way we think of fashion, the way we wear. Yeah.
Amazing. And Natalia, welcome back. Really delighted that you can join us. Obviously, you've seen your own presentation, but we were all quite blown away by it. Do you want to introduce yourself and then answer this question that I wanted to put to you? So I wanted to ask you, you of course took part in Boson Forum a couple of months ago, and you were on a panel with Diana Lee from the Business of Fashion. And she quoted the statistic that in 10 years, at least 15% of fashion will be digital first. And I wondered if you thought this was realistic, and wondered if you could talk a little bit about what digital fashion means to you. But do introduce yourself first.
Sure, thank you so much. Yeah, my name is Natalia Madinova, and I'm a founder of DRESSX along with Daria. Yeah, thanks a lot for organizing the forum. It was full of insights, and I not just agree with Diana, but there is a data and there is more and more researches happening on the subject. And yeah, of course, digital economy is something that is developing, and of course, fashion is going to be a vital part for it, same as for the traditional kind of IRL world. The physical fashion industry is a like $1 trillion industry, and of course it will have a chunk for digital economy as well.
Yeah, great answer. And while we're on the subject of digital fashion, would either you or Daria or Olga, I don't know who wants to take this question, I can see a lot of people commenting on your wearables. Do you want to just say a little bit about what you're actually wearing this evening?
Natalia, you start.
Sure. So I'm wearing the earrings that are actually an NFT. This is a project that we launched with one of our partners. And for us at DRESSX, it's important that every single item can have a utility. Same as like in real life, fashion always has utility. And it's a language to communicate. So this is an NFT earrings that I'm wearing. They say crypto, and more of such wearables are coming soon.
Yeah, I'm wearing the digital crown by actually the brand that exists in physical reality, and it is called Object and Dawn. It's an amazing brand that is worn by Beyonce, lots of other celebrities, and we actually started to collaborate with them more than a year ago, and we took their items into the digital sphere because they're quite heavy in real life. I do have some in physical versions. I can't wear them every day, but in digital I actually can. So that's the beauty of it. And actually the crown in a different color was also sold as an NFT and worn on Yahoo Finance video, the one that I told you about while doing my presentation. The rest of the jewelry exists only in physical versions on me. The dress is also physical, by the way.
Yeah, and I'm wearing the pink earrings, which are created by our internal designer. And I love them because they're simple, but you can see them, and it's adding an extra touch while you're on
I think
calls.
they look absolutely amazing, and we always have so many questions about them whenever you appear. I had to ask. So going back to the physical item that you're creating, Piero, can you tell us a little bit about the production process and how you go about creating this bespoke item once you have the owner's measurements?
Well, they will, in a moment that I've got all the measurements, I will start producing the garment, and I will use a specific, we can say, embroidery technique to actually craft all the lichens on a piece of silk, which will be like the tool will be, it's a silk tool. So it's a quite time consuming. So yes, it will take quite a bit of time. So roughly 4-6 weeks before everything is completed. And yes, it's 100% natural. It's a plant. It's a lichen, and also all the rest of the material. It's 100% natural. It's silk. So yeah.
Is it the first time that you have created something that has been physical and digital at the same time for you personally?
Yes, it is. Both. It's the first time. That I'm working with digital, and it's also the first. It's going to be my first 2 pieces ever produced. So So yes, the first two pieces of my brand. Yes,
That's pretty
that
exciting.
someone will wear.
Amazing. And Elad, going back to Portal and the whole experience there, what do you think is the main point of difference between Portal, which of course is connected with Boson Protocol, and stores that you can visit elsewhere in the metaverse?
So one part of it is, the gamified aspect, right? Where you make shopping an actually fun experience, and you can be rewarded with discounts or whatever for being good at it. It really represents the meritocracy, if you will, sometimes of the Web3 and the NFT community and culture. But more than that, I would say that, of course, it has to do with the physical element, right, of commerce of physical goods inside the metaverse. I think that's what's interesting, is that many, or at least some people, associate the expansion and the development of the metaverse with our regular physical universe is kind of like a zero-sum equation, right? Where you have to take away from one in order to contribute to the other, but it's actually not, right? Just because the metaverse is growing, expanding, and more importantly, becoming more significant, and that we're going to spend more time there, doesn't mean that we'll desire less physical stuff. So we need a solution where we can spend a lot of our time in a digital realm, but still have and acquire physical goods. And the protocol, Boson's protocol, is what's supposed to bridge that gap there in the middle.
Really good answer. And staying with you, Elad, what do you see the next steps for the metaverse? How do you think it will evolve over the next 5 years or so? And what are the main differences that we'll see?
5 years. I don't think we know how it's going to evolve in a year from today, but it's hubris to think what this is going to look like in 5 years. But I'll try, right? I'll tell you where I hope it's going to go and where some of the signals are pointing. I think that, for instance, AR is going to become a very big part of our lives and of the metaverse. And I think that we're already seeing inklings of that right now. It also goes to that interface between our digital and physical realm, right? It's not quite VR, but not quite entirely physical, or real, if you want to call it that, in quotes. And I think that as the interface technology, specifically goggles or glasses, AR ones, become more easily produced, manufactured, and therefore ubiquitous, we'll see more applications of that, right, that are day to day. So think about VR, if you remember when it started out. Today, so many people are playing VR games, socializing VR, and it's rather straightforward and intuitive. But when it started, right, it was so huge and so expensive that very few people were privileged to access it when it was just launching. Today, when you can get a pair of, Oculus Quest goggles that are so easy to use, and it's, $300 or something like that with free shipping from Amazon Prime, then everyone can have it, and therefore it becomes much more practical and pragmatic. So I think that the metaverse will be more AR oriented, and I think that companies like DRESSX are going to be very, very well positioned, because you'll be able to, purchase digital goods, try them on, use them in the virtual space, let's call it. So for instance, if you're meeting two people physically, you can actually, and you're both wearing the AR glasses, you can see what each other is wearing, right? Stuff that you purchased on DRESSX. But perhaps you'll also be able to purchase the physical version of that using Boson Protocol, and that gets delivered to your home in a completely decentralized way. That's just a little taste, in my humble opinion.
That's a really inspirational picture. And I will, I'm going to ask someone at DRESSX to follow up on this, but first of all, we do have a couple of questions. In fact, they're very similar questions, so I will roll them into one. We have Deirdre asking, with consideration that scarcity helps drive value for both digital and physical goods, will DRESSX be transparent about the quantity, rarity of each of your digital garments NFTs? And then we have a very similar question, which I can see Daria is answering as well. Wow, so there will only be 2 NFTs in one drop. Yes. So maybe someone from DRESSX would like to take this just to re-clarify the limited editionness of all of this.
Natalia, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm muted. So yes, the two exclusive items will be in this drop, and each item will have the number of like utilities in it, and of course, our primarily case is a digital wearable. And unique case here with the unique physical items. It's also a part of a value composition for the buyers. And it is redeemable once. You see how unique and like special the items are. It's not just a like piece of art, it's also a piece of nature. And it's redeemable once. So the first buyer gets that. However, in the future, it will be possible to resell the NFT, and it will be available for digital utilities if the item is resold. So the future owners will be able to wear it in AR on the picture, and the first buyer will receive the physical one. So that's how it's going to work. I saw a lot of questions on this subject. That's, I hope, answers.
Yes, that's a great answer. And just briefly, because we'll make this the last question, would either you or Daria like to comment on how you think the metaverse and specifically fashion in the metaverse will look over the short term?
Over the short term, oh, sorry, I started.
No,
Yeah,
just start. That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah, over the short term, it will still will be a lot of kind of R&D process for the creators, for the brands, for the users, and the metaverse is forming, and there are a lot of versions of how it's gonna evolve, and there are a lot of kind of global factors. However, for fashion, it will be influenced by these global factors. Like, for example, it will be like centralized, or it's going to be like free metaverse, and how protocols will talk to each other, and how interoperability of the files will work. It's more like a global factors that people who kind of build infrastructure for not only fashion in metaverse, but for all Web3 building. And there are factors that come from the kind of fashion industry itself. And the answer is creativity. So I feel like what kind of brands and creators can do is to use their creativity to communicate with this visual language, and use it at best, and implement the best practices from the kind of global solutions.
Great answer. So I think we have unfortunately come to almost the end. Just want to thank you all so much for being here, and thank everybody who has attended this, either in Crowdcast or in Decentraland. That was a brilliant session. Just one final thing, if you're in Decentraland, do stick around for a couple of minutes, as we'd like to get some action happening. Hit button B, look at the menu, do some emotes, do some dances or something, just celebrate the end of this absolutely fantastic session. And we hope to see you all soon. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It was
Thanks.
a pleasure.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.